Aries, this is your tarot reading for the entire year of 2024. Because it's for an entire year, it should come as no surprise that I am very much focusing on global events and how they're affecting you. Because, it's bound to be quite major things if it's over the course of a year. Now, in your case, it might be very personal, but nevertheless, global events will be influencing. And indeed, global events have very much been influencing us for 4 years or more. And certainly last year, very much so. My readings were all incredibly influenced by what was going on in the world. So, it's no surprise that this reading should also be. What I would say to you is I'm not an astrologer. I don't use astrology. Yes, this is for Aries. And it is for 2024, so I asked for both of those things. But I couldn't give you precise dates. I mean, I see time as a human construct. So I couldn't possibly give you precise dates. So, I'll talk in terms of the beginning of the year, the end of the year, the middle of the year. But I cannot even be certain that all of this will actually happen in 2024. To my mind, it's not that precise. But equally, I want you to say to you, look, I'm not aware that I'm channeling. I'm not aware that a spirit enters me and that it's the spirit speaking. I look at the cards, I interpret them, and I come up with a story. And hopefully you enjoy the story that I come up with. So let's have a look at this spread, an interesting spread for sure. The central card is the King of Pentacles, suggesting that the reading's about money, which somewhat surprises me. Somewhat surprises me, given all that's happening in the world. But, we'll see. In the past, you were going off in search of something different, in search of action. And what you found now, or what you appear to have found now, is love. A divine love. Well, that sort of makes sense. However, in the future, there's a warning about unhealthy attachments. Now, at this stage, we don't know the nature of these unhealthy attachments. But I suspect it's to do with your past life, the past paradigm, and not releasing it. The card that leads to the outcome is the King of Wands. He's a king of action. So we've got two kings here. We've got a king that's to do with finances and money, and a king of action. Are you acting hastily? Well, that's certainly the interpretation I would normally give. But this leads to the outcome, and the outcome is a great outcome. The Sun card. Multiple blessings, the sun shining down on you. Probably the best card you could possibly have. So who am I to tell you you're doing wrong? What would change the outcome is you struggling with too many things, struggling with work-life balance, struggling to do too much, maybe struggling to control. Now that would make sense. Gosh, I don't think I'm quite on top of this yet. So please stay with me, Aries, because it's going to be fascinating unpacking it, isn't it? Now, Aries, the card that dominates 2024 is the King of Pentacles. It's a card about financial wealth, money. I'm a little surprised to see it, in as much as money is rapidly disappearing. I mean, he tends to be someone who's good with money. I wonder if you're seeing your way through the new forms of wealth creation. And believe me, it's not this virtual accumulation that is being pushed using artificial intelligence. It's much more a communal wealth creation. I wonder if you've grasped that. I don't see any other indications for it. It'd be lovely to think that you had. Yeah, it's certainly about wealth. Certainly about a degree of sophistication financially. And it does run throughout the entire year. Aries, I'm not quite sure what to make of it. I mean, normally I'd say it's a great card, but it's just my view of what's happening in the world that sort of changes my view on this somewhat. Yeah, I'm sure we'll return to it. Now, in the past, there's the suggestion that you were something of a restless spirit, going out in search of something, perhaps quite open-minded, something quite creative that you were looking for. Maybe you were looking for answers to all that's happened to us, but I don't get other indications of that. In fact, this feels quite a personal reading. Yeah, a restless spirit. I'm not certain you knew what you were looking for. Well, maybe you're looking for money. It's a card of action as well. So you were seeking something, but you were actually going about and doing something about it. Yeah. We do have a King of Wands later on. This is the page. So it suggests to a certain degree you found what you were looking for. Interesting. Now, I'm not sure what you were going out looking for. The overall energy is that of wealth, but what you find now is love, a divine love. It could be spirituality, could be, but you certainly found it, and it certainly feels good. Maybe this isn't about world events for once. Maybe it's not. But you seem to have found what you're looking for here, and it certainly feels right. It feels very good. It feels very natural. Is it spirituality? I wonder. I wonder if it's spirituality. Do you know, I think it could be. And in the future, we have an unhealthy attachment. It's often associated, this card's often associated with addictions. But I'm not sure that it is. Is it an attachment to this love? Is it an attachment to money? The overall feeling is of money. Could it be an attachment to the old world and you've not really moved on? It certainly could be that. Could be that you're not moving on, but there's no other indications of that. There's every indication, I have to say, apart from this attachment, that 2024 is going to be a good year for you. Do you overcome this attachment? Is that what it's trying to tell us? As you can see, I'm still at a bit of a loss on this spread and how to interpret it for you, Aries. I don't like having this card here, but I'm sort of getting the feeling that I shouldn't be too fazed by it as well. Now, the energy that leads to the outcome is that of the King of Wands. He's a natural born leader, a natural entrepreneur. And I think that's what you are. And so the negativity that I see here in this spread, I think is overcome by your natural abilities. There's no doubt that you are quite a gifted person. You know, if we go to the card that dominates, the King of Pentacles, somebody that's good with money. And now we have a natural born leader, entrepreneur, a person of action. So I think there's a degree of balance here, despite just having had that Devil card, which suggests a degree of addiction or unhealthy obsession. I think you've got a balance. I think you've got a way through it all, which is why I suspect this year is going to be a very good year for you. So maybe I should stop looking for the negatives, stop thinking of world events. I mean, certainly in terms of world events, we do need leaders, we do need social entrepreneurs. And you do seem to be this person. You do seem to have got this real balance. I wonder if that Ace of Cups was about spirituality. And you're blending this natural talents with a degree of spirituality and understanding. Maybe that's all it is. Now that interpretation would fit with this next card, Two of Pentacles, which would change the outcome. And the Two of Pentacles is, I often call it a work-life balance card. But I think in your case, it's you taking too much on. You've clearly got great ability, but you're in danger of spreading yourself too thin. Now, this card isn't necessarily a bad card. I mean, he's struggling with priorities, you know. I always say walking along the beach barefooted, which I find difficult at the best of times, but holding up those two balls as well, or juggling as it were, would be extremely difficult. But it doesn't mean that you don't succeed. However, I think we do have to see this somewhat negatively as a warning, because the outcome's a wonderful outcome. So I think it's a warning not to spread yourself too thinly. And that's all we should see in it. And you see, the outcome is an absolutely wonderful outcome. And multiple blessings. It suggests to me that the confidence that you have, the balance and confidence you have, attracts these blessings. That you're, you're doing so well. You really are. This feels like your year, 2024. You're attracting so many blessings, and people could see it. You have confidence in yourself. You have confidence in your abilities, and people believe in you as well. We've said that you're a natural leader, but there also feels to be this wonderful balance in you. There's only this addiction card that's throwing me somewhat. Maybe I shouldn't pay too much attention to it. It does feel like a great year. This is wonderful. The blessings are such that it's almost that the sun shines from you. And everybody can feel this warmth in you. Do you know, I think it's all about the strength of your character, the strength of your personality, and at last you're being rewarded for it. In a sense that maybe you had monetary wealth before, but now you've either got spirituality or love as well. It's multiple. You're really happy. Maybe you're happy with the way the world is changing, and this has allowed you to step into your own. Maybe that's it. We've got to get clarification on this addictions card, haven't we? Yeah. Because it's the only thing that maybe somewhat spoils this beautiful reading for you, Aries. So yeah, I've got to get clarification on this Devil card. The first card of clarification is the Empress. Wonderful, wonderful female energy. We then have the Six of Wands. Card of achievement. Card of success. And then finally we have the Emperor card. Incredible. I mean, this is a card of authority. This is a card of maybe traditional, but a card of leadership again. And that it balances with the Empress. It highlights this balance that I'm telling you about. What does this mean in terms of clarifying the Devil card, though? And as I say, the first card of clarity is this Empress card. I mean, she's a lovely, lovely card. Very in touch with the female side, very in touch with her subconscious, very in touch with nature, and this card certainly suggests that, doesn't it? She does like the good things in life, but not in a sort of greedy way. She wants to share the best in life with everybody. But remember, we are clarifying the Devil card. So maybe there is a potential here for you to become too addicted to the good things in life. Personally, I think it's balanced. So I think it's just a warning about this Devil card and no more. Next card of clarity is the Six of Wands card. A card of scoring some victories. Now these are battles rather than wars won, but making progress and people aware of your progress. Of course, we have said you're a natural leader. I wonder if there's also a slight warning of you being addicted to this adoration. So maybe it's indulgence and adoration that you can be somewhat addicted to. But I do think there's a great balance. I think it's just a warning and no more than that. Yeah. People look up to you. It's a fine balance, isn't it, between adoration, people looking up to you, and you becoming conceited as a result. I think it's just warning of us of this fine line. We have the Emperor card, a card of authority, a card of being looked up to, a card that might be a little bit conservative, tried and tested old ways of doing things. And remember, we're talking of addiction. Is it saying that you can be a little bit too conservative? I think there's a possibility. So there's a possibility that I think you were something of a leader under the last paradigm. And it's sort of saying to you, well, don't be too addicted to all that came with it. Don't be too attached to it because things have changed. But you have everything that we're looking for in this new paradigm, because you've got this wonderful balance of this Emperor and Empress. You also have rather a nice balance of the King of Wands and the King of Pentacles. So it is suggesting to me you achieve this balance. And if you remember, the thing that would change the outcome is the Two of Pentacles, which is you struggling with this balance. Do you know, I think we've got there at last. That you have to keep everything in check. But if you keep everything in check, this is going to be a wonderful year for you. Yeah. Aries, I can summarise. Aries, we all know that the world is changing tremendously. And we're all trying to work out how and why. And I think you had something of a stake in the old paradigm. Maybe you were a leader of some sort. But even you went out and looked for inspiration on how the changes are going to affect everybody. For inspiration, if you like, on how you yourself should change. And by and large, you've made those changes. There is a warning in this reading. But overall, let me tell you, it's a wonderful reading. Wonderful. In 2024, something comes into your life. It could be love. It probably is love. Or it could be spirituality. And I think that really is the key to you having a wonderful year. By achieving a balance as a result of this love or spirituality. You see, you're somebody that's good with finances. You're a natural born leader. You're the sort of person that people look up to. You're confident. People come to you for advice. I think that you managed to transform from being maybe an entrepreneur, certainly a leader of some sort, to a social entrepreneur. And we desperately need people like you. And now the problem is that people look up to you. You indulge yourself in the good things in life, but you know, you're not greedy. You're quite happy for everybody to share in them. But to a certain degree, you like the adoration. To a certain degree, you like the authority. You enjoy leading. And you have to keep that ego in check in order for you to move on with the rest of the world. Now, it's just a warning, but you need to keep all of those in check. I think they are pretty much in check. But the danger of them not being in check is that you will struggle to achieve this balance of creating things for yourself and others and doing things just for yourself. So you have to find this correct balance. But you know, I'm pretty certain that in 2024, that's exactly what you do. You manage to achieve this balance. You manage to recognise that the new world is a communal world, a world of sharing. Yes, we need leaders like you, but it's not about telling people what to do. It's about gently bringing people together, and I think you're eminently capable of doing that. And as a result, the universe is going to reward you for it. You are going to have so many blessings, and you're going to be so happy. And I think it's because you've made this major adaptation. Even though, you know, to a certain degree, you were probably a leader in the past and you're still a leader. But you've adapted to the new paradigm so well. And people just see the sun shining off you because you seem to be doing things so well in 2024. Yes, Aries, 2024 is your year.